Hello, welcome to Ingeniously Made Whole, where I am Brittany Petty. If you haven't started following me, make sure you do on Instagram at Ingeniously Made Whole. When you go and search, you will see two different accounts. Both of those are mine. So go ahead and follow me. You can follow me on TikTok at IMW Counselor Petty, and you can follow me on Facebook as well as Twitter. So guys, I'm so excited to have you guys here. I hope you guys had an amazing, phenomenal weekend. You did something for yourself. If you're a mom or a father, I hope that you took some time to say, you know what, in the midst of getting prepared for back to school, I'm also going to make sure that I do something for me, whether it's soak in the bathtub, whether it's go for a walk, be intentional about setting your goals, whatever that is that you needed to do. For me personally, Sunday, I was like, you know what, Sunday is a day of rest. And so I didn't see any clients, which is the plus, but I did get into a space of getting my office together and just really getting my space together and being intentional, making sure that I have positive quotes, things that speak life into me. And so kudos to me. This is the first morning I actually got up and did some meditation, and just really focused on understanding the importance of getting into my mind, quieting my mind in the midst of everything going on. I didn't realize how important that was. I know I tell other people all day long, self-care, 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 meditate, meditate, meditate. But today was a day that I really was able to look at myself and just sit there for 10 minutes, put on some mindfulness meditation on Spotify, and just listen and quiet my mind. And guys, I just felt so rejuvenated. And so if you haven't meditated, you better go try it out. Go check it out. Okay. Do it. All right. So as you know, I love to start with a quote. That's something new that we're starting. I think people really enjoy quotes. I've been getting a lot of great feedback. People are like, I love that quote. I love that quote. So today we're going to talk about your just being in tune with yourself and cultivating a positive mindset. That's what we're going to talk about today. Having a positive mindset. So in the midst of mindfulness, I have to have that positive mindset. And so regardless, because as we know, life goes in roller coasters, right? It goes up. When it's high, it's high. When it's low, it's low. But we have to keep going, right? We don't just get off on the middle of the ride and say, you know what, I'm done. And so with that being said, I want to read this quote. It's by Kind Journey. It says, our mindset can either propel us forward into our dream life, or it can keep us in a state of happiness, gratitude, or it can keep us in negativity, a paralyzed state of spinning our wheels. So I'm going to read it again. Again, this is by Kind Journey. Our mindset can either propel us forward into our dream life, or it can keep us in a state of happiness. So we're living our dream life. We're in that state of happiness, which is great. Happiness and gratitude. Or it can keep us in a state of negativity. And then being in that state of negativity is where we live in that paralyzed state of mind that is spinning wheels, which leads a lot of people to anxiety, depression. And like I tell people, that's where that rabbit hole thinking comes, because you think the worst of everything, or you think something and then you're like, okay, but this, but that. And for some people, it's so deep. Like, oh, that person didn't speak to me. Oh, they must not like me. Oh, this, oh, that. And to the other person's point of view, it's not even that deep. It's not. It's not. And so what I encourage people to do is to put the brakes on. And if you are that person who's dealing with anxiety or depression, or you realize that you go into that rabbit hole thinking, I want you to stop yourself and say, no. I want you to state the facts and really, really, truly focus on positivity and focus on, okay, channeling that to something positive. So you might have to do something different, do something out of your norm. Start going on prayer walks, start journaling. You have to take control of your mind. So today, as we are talking about cultivating that positive mindset, don't forget to go to focusyoursuccess.com. Go grab a copy of my book. Right now, we're doing the buy one, get one, where you can get a copy of Listen Up and Stop the Drama, Stop Comparing, and Focus on Yourself. Which is just so important as we are pouring into our community, giving back to our youth, and just making sure they have a solid foundation, because there's just so much going on and we don't have enough positivity for our youth. So if you are connected to any youth or those young adults who are getting ready to go into college, definitely this book is phenomenal. It's perfect. It's great for them. Okay. So today we want to talk about cultivating that positive mindset. So I started with meditation because it's important to have a solid routine. What is it that you're going to do every day when you get up in the morning? For some people, it's literally get on their phones. We got to break that cycle unless you're doing a Bible study, right? But there's something that you have to start doing. We have to get into a mindset, get our mind wired, because so many people I see that they are literally, their faces in the phone all day long. And it's not okay. It's not okay, because when your face is in the phone, you're missing out on so much valuable time to connect with your loved ones and just be there and be available. And so I just feel like, I know it's addictive, and it is. I have so many clients that tell me, like, the phone. The child won't put down the phone. It's just hard to put down the phone. And so I just think it's just important for us to, cultivate that type of community, loving environment at home, to say, hey, 30 minutes, no phone. 30 minutes, everybody put the phone in the middle of the table. We're not touching the phone. We're going to talk. We're going to play a game or do something. And so I know it's hard, because even it's hard for me. It's hard to put the phone down at times, or to not feel like as soon as that text come in, I need to respond to it. And so I just think it's important for us to say, you know what? Right now, I'm enjoying this time, for example, with my children, and I'm not going to respond to any text messages or emails, because I have boundaries and I have to respect those boundaries in order to be whole. And so it just really comes down to you knowing yourself. So I challenge you to set a routine, set a daily routine, whether that's, you get up, you do a prayer walk, you get up, you spend time in your word with God. Really just take the time to just have that quiet time and mindfulness, and just connect with yourself as you are on the journey of seeking your inner healing, your inner peace, and just doing what you need for you. So with that being said, it gives you a chance to do checks and balances to see, okay, are there some friend circles I need to clean up? Or are there some things I need to clean up in my household? Do I need to get some spirits out? Whatever that is, you got to figure that out, so that way you can be whole and operate from a place of inner peace. I know for myself, I definitely want to establish a solid routine and just really have a household of peace, nothing but peace. If it's not bringing peace, I don't want it. I don't want any parts of it. And just really saying that I'm upholding the truth of excellency, resiliency in my home. And therefore, what that means is that I have to lead by example. That means anything less than excellency or resilient, or people being resilient, working hard, giving their best, don't come to me with excuses. And really just setting that tone of what's expected in my household is important. And so for you, for my listeners, what is it that you feel that you need to set the tone for in your home? Is it, if your home is lacking peace, let's get the peace there, because your home is your safety net. Your home should be a place of peace, of love, of joy, peace, happiness. Really, the fruits of the spirit, right? And so whatever that is, whatever is lacking, I stand in agreement with you to have it, because I know what it's like when you don't have peace. And so having peace, man, you can just take on the world, right? But when you don't have peace, there's so much going on. And so I stand in agreement with you. Whatever that is, whatever you need, I stand in agreement with you to help you get there. So today we're also talking about if you have a limited mindset versus a growth mindset. As we know, a growth mindset is someone who's open-minded. They are not talking about everything's a scam. Like, they take the time to hear, listen, and see things through before they're like, no, 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 right? And they're just really at a place where they can cultivate their inner learning and just be great. And so when we think about that and we just think about life in general and everything that you have overcome, when you think about yourself and growing up, because a lot of times our way of thinking, our thoughts, the way we are, it comes from how we are raised, right? But then once you become a grown up, it's your job to do your research. It's your job to expand your thoughts, expand your knowledge, expand your circles. So when we think about having a growth mindset, are you that person that is willing to soak in knowledge, get all the facts before you make a decision? Are you that person who, is receptive to open criticism? Are you that person who understands that, okay, I have that internal motivation, that I'm not going to make excuses or say because you didn't do something, I can't be great? No, that's just not how things work in life. Are you that person that knows that, okay, failure doesn't mean I call it quits? That just means I can learn from those mistakes and I'm going to push myself to be better. Are you a person who's willing to try new things, who gets out of your comfort zones, is willing to learn something new and just do something that's not in your norm? That's what having a growth mindset is, and not putting other people down for doing something that you've never had the courage to do. So when we think about a limited, I like to call it Black mindset, those are people who say, okay, feedback, it's criticism. They believe that their abilities are predetermined by genes. So basically, things are passed down. I can never be any better, do any better, because you know what? It's in my genes. Are you that person that believes that failure is supposed to what you're not good at? So, boom, I'm not good at it. I'm not going to ever be good at it. Or are you that person that says, you know what? I don't like to get out of my comfort zone, so I'm not going to get out of my comfort zone. Or are you that person that says, I'll never be good enough? Not me, not I. And so those are two different people that I described, the limited blocks and the growth mindset. And I don't know about you guys, but when you are on the path of being a growth mindset, because that's what I am, and that's all I want around me, you don't want people around you who have that limited or Black mindset. Because when you're on the road just to success, you don't want that around you. And when you think about yourself and being positive, when you're a positive person, you don't want to be surrounded by negativity. You don't want to be surrounded by people who just don't. Okay. And so it's just important for you to just start living life, dream big. And if you surround yourself with people who are going somewhere, you will be able to take on so much in life. And so I think it's important for us to understand, okay, how do I continue to cultivate a positive mindset, especially in the midst of negativity and in the midst of people who just don't? Well, it starts with you and really seeing what is it that I truly, truly need. Just like at church yesterday, we started studying the book of Ruth, and it's always, I love getting different perspectives on different books of the Bible or how different pastors will teach something. So yesterday we went to Life Church. You can find this message online, Pastor Craig Groeschel. And he talked a lot about, just understanding the basics and understanding the background, for example, the Moabites, and just understanding where they came from and their brokenness. And sometimes we allow ourselves thinking that we can fix, quote unquote, fix people or fix things. But some people are so broken that they can't be, in a sense, because that is like generation after generation after generation after generation. But we have to learn to recognize what is and state the obvious and understand that we have a choice. We can either continue on or we can go back to where we know our roots lie. Meaning we go back to where we know, okay, I have to get back to the promised land. I have to stay connected to the source. And when we know that in order to thrive, we're going to thrive. And so another way of looking at it is like this. If we're all on the boat and somebody ain't right and they leading us down the wrong direction, we got to toss them, right? Because I cannot go where I desire to go or be where I desire to be if I have people who are around me with a negative mindset. If I have people who are around me who are constantly dragging me down and not uplifting and building me up. But it goes both ways, because you got to be that person that's uplifting and positive and motivating and giving. And so I just feel like it's just important for us to check ourselves and say, okay, where am I? You know, nobody's perfect. I'm not saying you're going to be positive every single day, because nobody's perfect. But what I am saying to you, if there's someone that's in your circle, in your boat, that is not pushing you and propelling you to be better, they're not adding nothing to that relationship or adding anything to that friendship, we got to let them go. Because what's meant to be will be, and it'll come back around to you. And God has shown me that time and time and time again. And I think for many people, it's the fear of loss. It's the fear of, you know, the unknown. But in life, we have to take those leaps of faith. And if God has called you to do something, I encourage you to do it. So the question still remains, okay, so what do I do? Well, we toss them off the boat, right? But the key in life is understanding that you won't enjoy the outcome unless you enjoy the process. You won't enjoy the outcome unless you enjoy the process, meaning that we have to celebrate our small wins to get to the big win, meaning that we have to acknowledge where we are, you know, and I've been guilty of this too, of not taking the time to celebrate myself when I accomplish something great. Because I'm like, I gotta get here. I gotta get here. I desire to get here. But the key is we have to enjoy that. Enjoy that moment. Enjoy us raising our children to get them to graduate, right? And to get them to be ready and prepared for the world, right? Outside of life. And so it's just important for us to understand and do what we know is right. We have to be open to new possibilities. We have to focus on our strengths. We have to be in the present. And I put focus on being in the present because I can't tell you how many times I've been here and I'm thinking about this, or I'm there. I'm here, but I'm not here because I'm there. And so it's just important for us to be focused, be in the present, and understand that there's a difference between what you can control and what you cannot control. And so when you understand what you can control, man, the sky is the limit for you, because you know this is something that I can control. And when you focus on what you can control, man, you're going to accomplish so much in your life. But again, thank you guys for tuning in to Ingeniously Made Whole. Just to recap today, we went over the importance of cultivating a positive mindset. Don't allow anyone to stop you from being great and being positive. You know, I know things happen in life, and some people can just dry you all up. And so I encourage you to reevaluate your circle, your space, and whoever it is, whatever it is, cut them off. Cut them off. If you know that you've been called to be greater, you know, we got to have people in your circle that's going to push you and propel you to reach where you desire to be. And so I'm all for positivity. So I encourage you to be positive, think positive, and just give your best. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you follow me. Go to my website, focusyoursuccess.com, and make sure you follow me at Ingeniously Made Whole on Instagram and Facebook. And you can also find me on TikTok at IMW Counselor Petty.